This is groundbreaking news. But with it comes a bittersweet irony. They are 2 months in and they have to save £10,000 thanks to the extra reconstruction work on the ground floor. They need to compromise somewhere.
The original idea was to have the entire timber frame constructed out of the larch, but unfortunately, this is a project also based on budget.
They've decided to use a mix of Japanese larch and cheaper spruce, brought all the way from Scandinavia.
It is strange. The local source woods is more expensive than importing from Scandinavia. It's just the way at the moment.
All things considered, we believe it was the right decision. Take the Japanese larch perhaps as far as we could at this stage and keep within budget and on schedule.
It's not a disaster, though. Nigel will use the spruce sparingly for the exterior frame, while using larch for the internal partitions and the cladding. The first challenge of today is getting the timber frame cassettes, the walls of the house, up and over the 11,000-volt electric cable.
I must say that the man who doing a crane work is amazing.
Successfully lifted, the crew waste no time putting up the cassettes. It's a relatively cheap, quick and simple system. To make the walls, they slide the squares into place and glue and pin them together. It takes barely 3 hours to lay out the first floor frame on top of the old house.
It's amazing, from drawing, and then now we got three-dimensional wall. Is amazing.
2 weeks later, the timber frame reaches full height. It's only now that Tamayo and Nigel's vision for Japanese woodland living takes on its full woody form. I don't think many of us would choose to live in a forest, would we? They are dark, confusing and oppressive places after all. But I think that's because we tend to experience them at ground level, deep within them. Whereas a building like this can do something magical. A building like this can lift us up into the canopy. For a man who's never project managed, let alone built before, I'm rather impressed that Nigel got this up in barely 3 months. But Ikebana, this isn't. No precision Japanese workmanship here, and I'm not surprised with no architect to oversee it. Downstairs, where the timber frame meets the existing building, there's been a big cock-up. The new frame doesn't line up with the old walls. So how come they measured that opening wrong?
This is unusual in the sense, we've essentially plonked a timber frame on top of the existing building.
Yeah.
And the timber frame company had taken the dimensions as they were given. We had the architectural plans of the house from about 1991, so about 20 years ago.
OK, so they were utterly inaccurate.
They were utterly inaccurate. So when they came to be plonked on, we found that it was 15 centimetres out. So we'd have this interesting dogleg of the double-height window, which, of course, would be a complete disaster. So they're going to build up the left-hand side with stud work.
Architects train for 7 years, full-time, to anticipate this kind of problem. Nigel and Tamayo, meanwhile, are trying to muddle through, with no detailed drawings, fixing problems as they occur, which can be expensive and laden with compromise. It's an approach that perplexes the men who turn up to fit the high-performance doors and windows when Nigel's stuck in the lab at university.
It was overloaded there, so...
There isn't an architect for the job, so there's no planning, there's no details, and there's not really anybody project managing it as such. Well, Nigel is, but he's not here full-time.
The heavens opening is a timely reminder that Nigel's building a house in one of the wettest climates in Europe. It's also a reminder that he's built the terrace completely flat so water won't drain off it. Fixing the problem is a pain. They have to build an additional slope into the floor and take off all the already fitted terrace doors.
The window installers have had to, on two or three occasions, put the window in, take the windows out, take the pressings out, adjust the height, put the pressings back in, put the windows back in.
We are thinking about, we buy windows and they install windows for us. Just we prepare box and they finish. It's just so simple, we were thinking, but it was not simple at all.
Nigel's doing the best he can without a professional to guide him. But staggering from problem to problem is no way to either build a house or remain calm and dignified.
Well, there's a bit of slapping forehead with a hand like this. We've probably had two or three of these instances where things have cropped up, and so far I think the solutions have worked. There's been nothing irreversible. But my underlying fear is that there is going to be something along the way that is going to be tantamount to a large calamity.
For experimental physicist Professor Nigel Hussey, house building is a quantum leap beyond anything he's ever done before. His approach to construction is proving as experimental as his work. He has no detailed drawings, and it's driving the contractors nuts.
I put my hands up, apologise again for leading a few people down a merry path, but I think the results on the windows look fantastic.
Nigel wants to thank everyone, Japanese style, so he's throwing a sushi and sake party.
Yours tonight. Thanks a lot, Nigel.
It's a new and disturbing experience for the Welsh builders.
First sushi, yeah. Never had it before. I don't think I should be having that wasabi sauce with it again either.
That's foil.
Jesus.
Nigel's judgment on the project hasn't always been the best. Giving raw fish to Welsh builders is one of his more minor mistakes. But faithfully following the original architect's plan to break up the uniformity of the cladding is a masterstroke.
It's wonderful. I can't wait to see the combination of horizontal and vertical stick together.
Japanese larch is very, very durable thanks to its high resin content, so it doesn't need to be treated to survive the worst weather that Wales has to throw at it.